Hello, welcome to the Father Samba podcast. I'm Father Samba. I bring you the news and the tunes. If you couldn't tell, I feel better, I sound better, and I'm ready to tell you everything you need to know this week. I was going to apologize about the last show being very terrible, but I realized, why should I apologize for something that no one listened to? But let's get right into the news. So if you haven't heard already, Subway is under some scrutiny because apparently their tuna fish doesn't have actual tuna in it. Yeah, they scanned the DNA and came back, they didn't have enough tuna for it to actually be considered the actual fish. People are wondering if it's dolphin meat or whatever, but I need to remind you, it's Subway we're talking about. Subway used to actually be somewhat respected as a brand. You know, back when they had the $5 footlong. Remember that commercial? $5 one foot. That was great. It was really good. People ate their sandwiches and people were happy. Something happened, I guess. I'm pretty sure it was around the time that they had to pay out the ass because Jared liked kiddos a little too much. Something happened. All of a sudden, I think they're starting to cut corners a little bit. I know that incident with Jared was about 5 years ago now, but slowly, I think they're starting to get really bad food-wise. Because there's a time where only certain Subways would give me diarrhea. But it seems like now, almost every single Subway I go to, their meat is just, they're keeping it out for too long. It is terrible for your health. If you really care about yourself, go to Jimmy John's or go to Wendy's. Don't go to Subway. Because, I'm going to be honest, they're getting really bad. Really, really bad. But with the tuna, first of all, why would you order a tuna fish sandwich from Subway? Their meat is hardly even meat. You need to be surprised. Yeah, you need to be grateful that there's no tuna in there. Because otherwise, I'm pretty sure they would be giving you the cat food tuna. You know, there's a difference between the tuna cans that you can get for yourself and your family, and then there's a type that you give to your cat. I don't know what the difference is. Let me look that up for a second. Because honestly, tuna, when you get it from a restaurant, what's the point of that? Tuna would be disgusting. Okay, I looked it up. From what I've heard, or from what I've seen, there isn't a lot to find. I'm not sure if it's Google's fault, but apparently with tuna, the difference is that the cat tuna, they just don't care as much. The standards are lower. For instance, they might have parts that are not meant to be consumed. Kind of like, well, tuna, you might get some dolphin in there. The cat tuna might have a little bit more dolphin. But somehow, Subway found a way to put even less tuna in it than the cheapest brand of tuna. How do you manage that, Subway? Subway, you need to get it together. Come on, get your act together, Subway, because honestly, people are going to Jimmy John's because freaky fast, first of all. Second of all, the workers don't look as depressed. Subway, you need to give your workers some benefits. Maybe not Blue Cross Blue Shield, but hey, you need to actually let them get some coverage for mental health because they all look clearly depressed. And if you let them go to therapy or whatever, they might actually benefit. They might make sandwiches better. Also, stop pretending that they're sandwich artists. That is stupid. They're being paid minimum wage. I guess that they're an artist in the way that they're starving. The starving artist. But it's almost insulting. It's almost like you're trying to get people who graduated college with an arts degree and you're like, hey, you want to be an artist? Here. The only way I would respect you in calling your workers artists would be if you called the sandwiches or meals commissions. That's the only way. Because Subway is bottom of the barrel now, it seems. Every time you eat it, your body's gonna get all wrecked. Taco Bell has a better reputation at this point. Taco Bell, sure, they might not have meat, but hey, that fake meat will probably not destroy you the same way Subway is. Come on, you need to get it together, Subway. Heck, Chipotle has a problem too. But here's the thing, Subway is way more prevalent than Chipotle is. Subway has some of the most I think it has the most franchises in the world. Hold on, I'm going to fact check that. I did not spell any of that right. Okay, Subway. Yep, Subway has almost 43,000 locations. That's about 5,000 more than McDonald's with 37,000. About 13,000 more than Starbucks double KFC. So look, Subway is everywhere. If it's gonna be everywhere, can it at least be good? Can it at least be good? Because it used to just be one specific Subway that would destroy my body. But it seems like now more and more of them are getting lower and lower quality. Subway, you gotta get better because eat fresh. Eat fresh. That's not fresh. The freshest thing there is the attitude from the workers, but that barely even counts when you're eating it. Come on. I'm just saying, Subway, can you please get it together? Get it together, man, because honestly, you're gonna lose some very faithful customers. I'm not faithful, but I'm gonna go to Jimmy John's now. I'm gonna go to Jimmy John's because they've got a 16-inch sub. That extra 4 inches matters, right, ladies? 16 inches. Yeah, you've got 12 inches. Heck, from what I've heard, they actually have less than 12 inches. That's just a joke. You are a joke. Ireland doesn't even consider your bread to be bread now, Subway. Look, Ireland has some very nice people. I've been there. They're very nice. But you managed to screw up bread and you pissed them off well enough to get into court. Your bread is cake. Not even that good cake. It's stale cake. That's what you're selling, Subway. You're selling stale cake and meat and tuna that's not even meat and tuna. You gotta get better than that, Subway. You gotta get better. I want to talk to your manager. I want to talk to the CAO, the manager of all managers. He is the god of managers. I need to talk to that dude because something's wrong with the supply chain. Something is very, very wrong. You need to work to get up to that level you once were because for some reason, you decided to cut so many goddamn corners, it's now a circle. You made a circle, Subway. I don't like that. Cut it out. Okay, that got me into the ranting spirit. I've got more. I've got way more, and it's scripted too. You're gonna like it. I just came back from a break. I was eating peanuts in the shell. Honestly, peanuts, you need to have the shell too, because taking it out of the shell, it feels great. It feels really good. It almost feels like you're getting a bit of an exercise. But, back to the real content. I don't think of myself as a genius, but with all these stupid people, it puts me in no other place. As much as I may call myself stupid, there are some who certainly take the cake in that regard. I might have molasses for a mind, but I'm not an empty-headed twit who pokes and prods for a fraction of a coherent thought. Yeah, I'm scripted, but who writes this? I do. What's my point besides thoughtless misanthropy? Oh yeah, it's health. Okay, a warning, if you're very squeamish, please skip to this time, 10 minutes and 28 seconds. I don't know about you, but I get a lot of nosebleeds. It's been like that since I was very little, and it's still a problem to this day. Well, but I mean, it's not really the problem. Here's what the real problem is. What I hate is when people have to point it out. They tell me, oh hey, your nose is bleeding. Here's what really gets me. I know it's bleeding. I can feel when blood is coming out. Thank you, but I get the concept. If I couldn't feel it, you might as well call an ambulance, because you know what I drank was probably spiked. Your nose is bleeding. Okay, well your eyes are crooked. How do you like that? That was probably mean, but it pisses me off. I'm pretty in tune with my body. I've lived in it for how long? But what's worse is when it's very mild. Just a couple of drops, so I'll be fine. So I try to ignore it. Excuse me, you're bleeding. I know! We went over this. I'm falling apart left and right, but I've got better things to do. All I want to do is disregard it so it'll disappear. I bet people paying child support feel the same way, but that's not how it works. It just keeps coming. Hell, I could be running to the bathroom, holding my nose, and people still remind me and my nose is bleeding. Hey, your nose is bleeding. Oh, and you're adopted. But you know what? Get out of my way. If I don't get to a sink, the local Walmart will start looking like a crime scene. So, I get inside. All the sinks are taken. I appreciate your washing, but just get! You'll love it. You get out the paper towel, only to find out it's that brown one-ply trash. Hey, I want it soft, not rough and coarse. What can absorb sunlight? It ain't worth a broke dick. So you're in there for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. At that point, the person who went with you shopping thinks you're deceased. They think you're dead. And I'm a little lightheaded because I probably lost about a quart of blood through my smelling holes. Just when you think it's over. It's not. It's not over till you snort out that chunky blood clot. Oh, what, you think that's gross? Well, try living it. I've spent 20 minutes nursing my nostrils. I'm like a soldier. I'm taking care of my own. But that's the kind of nonsense I have to deal with all too often. If it's too cold or just the slightest bit dry, Off goes my nose like an eager bottle of ketchup. And if I have just one, I'm going to have 3 or 4 more later that week. I've got a quota on how much blood I can lose, and I'm a little behind schedule. What makes me lucky is that it's mostly just allergy season. So I'm lucky. Anyone who bleeds just every month deserves a medal or something. It's insane. And yeah, okay, by now, if you're tuning in, I was grossing out everybody, but it's fine. It's over. We can get back to talking about, anything else. But what doesn't make you throw up? College. That was a terrible segue. If you're new to the college world, then you might be figuring out dorms. But Samba, I'm not getting a dorm. You've listened to me talk about all kinds of crazy things. You can shut your face a little bit longer, because some of this bull honky is ridiculous. One of the first things you have to do for college before you even sign a contract is you have to pay them $200. Why do you need my $200? I'm not even a student here yet, so why are you already hounding me like I am? Just wait, you'll get more money in due time. I don't even know why that would make any sense. If you go shopping for a car, you don't have to pay anything when you get into the dealership. Oh, you want to spend $1,000 on a car? Well, give me $100, you dick. What? No, that would be stupid. And you wonder why college kids are broke. We aren't even on campus yet, but we're paying these obnoxious fees like we're getting DoorDash. After you get past that barrier of entry, next you have to go and take one of those personality tests to see if you can find a roommate. For some reason, they make those quizzes like you're taking a test to see if you're a sociopath. Do you like talking to other people? I don't know, maybe? These questions are always so vague. You either are or you aren't. But I'm gonna be honest, I took the test. And I really seemed like an asshole from that test. Is it really the test's fault, though? I don't know, maybe. You know what else? Maybe they should have maybe as an answer. See, I'm a maybe guy, as in, maybe I would take part in a party if that rat bastard Travis doesn't show up. And that guy sucks. Okay, I don't know anyone named Travis. That's just what showed up when I looked up douchebag names. Ranked 6 out of 15. It was 1 spot below Tyler, and that's a very douchey name. But if you're wondering what number 1 was, Nick is number 1. Yeah, it makes sense. So I took the test. After you deal with all that malarkey, you finally got to pick a dorm. Hard to believe, but it takes that long. You make it through all of that, so you have a choice. Do you want to have a single room, or do you want a roommate? After seeing how insufferable I am from the test, I don't want to put another student through that hell. I don't care what I have to pay. I'm not sharing a bed with another person. I hate when someone is in the kitchen when I am, so I don't think I can last 4 months of that same feeling. I'd sleep in my car before I let that happen. I'm not from a large family if it weren't too obvious, so I pick a single room dorm. An extra $600 a semester. Oh well, I guess that's the cost of privacy. I can handle sharing a bathroom. That's all I have to deal with. There's no kitchen, so I don't have to worry about those awkward kitchen counters. What do you mean there's no kitchen? They have meal plans. Or here's a smart idea. Yeah, you get a meal plan. You're already spending $600 not to sleep with some smelly guy named Joel. You might as well get a meal plan too. Okay, I've been positive for too long. There's a little caveat. If there's not enough rooms, you sometimes have to double up in your single room. That's right, and they only give you a partial refund. Imagine that. Hey, I know you've got a room specifically so you wouldn't have a roommate, so why don't we give you a roommate and squeeze you two in a room that was only meant for one of you? It's okay. I know you spent $600 so this wouldn't happen, so we'll give you $300 back. Even though that will never make up for the inconvenience, hey, you're getting some money back. I hate that. I hate that so much. It's times like these where I'm happy people are dropping out of school. For the love of God, don't all start enrolling back until maybe 2024. I hope for you to have a good future, but please, can it wait until I'm done? I don't want to share any rooms. So yeah, that's why I had to take that test to be a roommate. Oh well, my residence hall isn't with the psych kids, so I don't have to worry about anyone pulling out their notes explaining to me why I'm terrible. But it's not that I'm against roommates. I've just heard stories from hell. Back when my dad went to school, the roommate assessment was one question. Are you a smoker? Even then, that didn't even guarantee you'd be safe from a smoker being in the room. But my dad had a roommate who was smoking the dorm. Hey, Bernie, you can't smoke in here. Didn't you say you weren't a smoker? Yeah, I know, but my parents were in the room when I did the assessment. Thank God campuses are smoke-free now, because that would have boiled my blood into soup. But there's a chance for something worse. I've heard of sweet mates from hell. You know the usual. I mean, not putting stuff away, the hair's in the shower drain, getting a little too loud when the girlfriend is there with them. Yeah, honestly, those are the questions that maybe should be a part of the assessment. None of that. So, yeah, do you like eating breakfast at 7 a.m. or 10 p.m.? I don't eat breakfast. Leave me alone. That stuff, yeah, it's important. I fall asleep around a certain time. I want a roommate who falls asleep at a certain time. I don't need anyone calling someone at 3 in the morning. I'm a bit of a light sleeper. I'm so light of a sleeper, people's thoughts keep me up at night. That's good. Yeah, I don't need those questions like, are you a party animal or are you a hermit crab? See, those questions, you gotta add some maybes and you gotta make sure, hey, does this person actually do a good job? At the end of all of that crap, you get a piece of paper so that you can still get rejected from a job because you don't have any job experience. You know what time it is? It's time for Here's the Thing. Let me make myself clear. I got my vaccine. I went in, got both of them, and I have a card to prove it. But I didn't post a picture of it. You have me at my word. So if you see me in public without a mask, just know that I'm being honest. It's hard to tell now that mask mandates are lifted in most of the country. But here's the thing. If your state and local area is following the CDC, then you might as well try going maskless. That's not to say that every state is lucky to have governors who follow the science. Some states barely closed down and then opened up far too early. This may have led to higher cases and deaths in those areas, but I'm not talking about those states. I'm talking about here in Michigan and other states who try taking the pandemic a little bit seriously. As you know, we lifted our mask mandate not long after the CDC told us to go ahead. After a while, OSHA said safe for fully vaccinated workers to return to work without masks. Despite this, there is a large number of people who still think they should continue wearing a mask. Fully vaccinated people still wearing a mask. Come on, folks. You're the ones allowed to go without a mask. And I know damn well as anti-vaxxers aren't being honest. But you're vaccinated. Chances are, so is your family and loved ones. And if they're not, well then tough patootie. They should have gotten it when it was easy to get one. That's not to say this pandemic was easy though. The scientists went from saying no masks sometimes to wear them. I remember people claimed Fauci wanted us to wear 2 masks. He never told people to do that. All he said was more layers are more effective, but you don't have to wear multiple. Boy, did people take that out of context. I knew people who actually did it. They wore 2 masks when they went to the store. But not me. I wore 1, because that's all you're getting out of me. Another thing I saw people do was wear a mask in the car. Nobody's in the car, but you like to keep it on. I don't know about you, but that elastic's uncomfortable. But people ask doctors and journalists whether or not they should. Here's what I would have said. I would have said, no, Andy, you're in the car by yourself. Your wife left you and she's not coming back. Do you really think this is how you should live your life? Of course, they didn't say that. They actually had to use that softer talk that basically told them they can if they want. Or if they say they're carpooling in public transportation. That's not what I've seen! I've seen grown men wear a mask by themselves in their car thinking it'll help. Will it help? No, you need help. Don't get me wrong, I was a bit nervous my first time going maskless in a store. I was fully vaccinated and I wore a pin to prove it. I waited for someone else to walk into the store mask-free, and I followed not far behind. Did it feel all magical? No, it didn't feel that much different. Probably because a lot of people right here didn't wear masks from the get-go. I keep my distance from people though. It's a public space and I don't know them. Stay the hell away from me. But do I care about what other people think? No. Why? Do they assume that I'm a denier? Who cares? I got my shot and your store doesn't enforce it anymore. I might be stupid, but I'm no dummy. I'll make another point clear. The pandemic is still not over yet. America's gotten a lot of vaccines on account of how much of a threat it was for us. Australia didn't have as many cases per capita, so it's no surprise they haven't gotten their vaccine yet. I predict there will be some pushback from people there because the virus was never a serious threat for them. But it's good to see we donate vaccines to developing countries. Now that everyone who wanted one's pretty much gotten theirs, it's better to share than to waste. Almost nobody in the Democratic Republic of the Congo has gotten their shot yet, so you probably shouldn't visit there yet until they get more vaccines. But once they can, feel free to visit Lake Tanganyika. So where are we? Well, Earth, I assume. But in the grand scheme of things, we are better than we were a year ago. Hospitalizations are down, and so are the deaths. The topic of masks will continue to be a part of the debate. While stores shouldn't discriminate against those who do, just know it is less necessary to wear one. So if you're fully vaccinated, I guess you can really say your body, your choice. Thank you for listening to this episode. It's a little short, but I think it's sweet. Thank you.